Yeshiva World.
I thank everybody for being here, doing this for me, doing it for my son. I really don't know if it's for me personally or for Justin, to be honest with you. It was a tragic accident, everybody obviously knows. It was my only child. He was very special. I could only equate him on a level that maybe you could understand this. He was like the rabbi's rabbi. It's like one of the big rabbis that you would know. He was like that. He was a great teacher. He was always positive. He had his, he was a kid, let's be realistic. He was 20 years old. He did things, but 99% of the things he did, maybe even 100%, were really right on the mark. We never had to really scold him for anything. We never had to do anything like that. Just put him in his room. He knew what he had to do in life. He had a dream to be in the Naval Academy. It was his very first choice, to be a leader, to be a great man, to be a teacher. He succeeded that. Everybody here that knows him or that knew him could attest to that. People from the Naval Academy are still sending letters. They're personalized letters, what Justin had did for them. Even if it was just the smallest little thing. And I'm just going to tell you a story. It's very quick. That when we had the funeral, one of the guys from the football team actually whispered into Susan's ear, if it wasn't for Justin, he would have quit. And I don't know how many people know this, but the United States Naval Academy doesn't make quitters. They want you to continue. You can't just leave and say, I'm leaving. You have to go through a whole panel. So I guess his panel was Justin. And he spoke to him, and Justin said, you can't do that. Let's write down why you want to leave, and let's write down the good things and the bad things. And he stayed. And this is a story that I've heard many, many, many times. So I just want to leave you with just the thought that he'll be missed deeply in our hearts. He'll be missed deeply, I'm talking, well, here's my brother. He'll be deeply missed in the Jewish community. He went to shul every Friday night. He went to Israel, what I think you all know, and he did what he had to do in Israel. He loved Israel. He would have gone back to even Israel. If it was tomorrow, he would have gotten on an airplane, just go. He had a study partner from Ura that I think most of you may or may not have known.
Right behind you.
And he was learning how to Torah. Despite all his curriculum, he had football, he had classes, he had to do stuff with his company. He made time to study on a fairly regular basis. Of course, the Navy came first. I don't want to lie about that. But he did make time to study. So again, I thank everybody. Anybody here that wants to talk to me, they don't have to do it right now today, but privately, the rabbis have my telephone number, my email, if anybody wants to know a little bit more about Justin, if anybody out there, just, I'd be more than happy to share that with them. He was just one spectacular person, and my wife's not here right now, but I'm just going to leave you with her words, and some of you already heard it. He was wonderful. Thank you very, very much.
You're a strong person. We appreciate you being here today. You really are. Very appreciate it. His Torah mate, his partner, Tzvi Rubenfeld is here. Why don't you say a few words? Tell us about Justin from your perspective. Come.
Today Rabbi Beer, he's the coordinator of URA, and he had contacted me, and I was actually just recently looking through the emails that I had back and forth, and I actually pushed him off a few times. I said, I don't have time, he doesn't have time, let's just forget it. But Rabbi Beer persisted, and this is going back since September. We started from Bereshis, and the first thing that Justin had told me was that he was in the Navy, he was already there a year, so 3 more years, and then he had 5 years that he would sort of be enlisted and deployed wherever they told him to go. And just, to me, just the idea that someone who had the next 8-9 years of his life planned and was still interested in trying something new. And he wasn't just doing it to do you a favor. I know that every few minutes he stopped me and he would write stuff down. And as we were moving along, he was getting greater appreciation. We started from Bereshis, and we discussed the 6 days of creation. We discussed just how the roles that human beings play in it, and he was just just very, very touched. He was touched by the message of Shabbos, which was May 3rd. That was 10 days before the tragedy. We completed the first day. We've completed Shabbos, and we spoke about speaking in the future about taking on some things about Shabbos that he would consider the football season was over. As a person who just a lesson in growth. He was motivated and he was talented and he was really growing, and we know that he would have been such a tremendous asset to our community. Humble, respectful, I never met him even personally. That's the great tragedy. We always spoke about meeting one day in the future. Yeah, we'd meet, I would come down. But his memory should be a blessing, and he should find comfort, and we all loved him, and we'll never forget him.
Finally, you were looking for an assistant rabbi, you have one right here, it's you. Baruch, I say a few words, Baruch. Very short, then when you try to find it somewhat different.
I don't get to say much.
Tell your reactions to Emily.
So the only thing I'll share is 2 quick points. The first thing is that certainly, talk about you for a minute, and obviously we learned about Justin, who I never had the privilege of meeting, but from literally the hours after you had gotten such tragic news, as you remember when we met together with Shalom, I've told numerous people that your strength and your perseverance and the belief that you and your wife had in the face of such horrible tragedy has made an everlasting impression, not only on us and on this entire room, but people in the community and people around the world. They saw parents who faced unspeakable tragedy, who lost their only child, and the way you and your wife and your entire extended family have handled yourselves despite such terrible loss, which we can't even begin to imagine, has been very inspiring. And the only other comfort I can try and give, since I was asked to, is that many years ago, my father always said over a story together with Rabbi Strickman that after a particular person had passed away, so my father turned to Rabbi Strickman and said to Rabbi Strickman, this person that passed away, this one's going to last a while. And Rabbi Strickman, I believe, turned back to my dad and said to him, yeah, you're right, it's going to last 20 minutes. And I want to tell you that maybe, just maybe, because of the memory of your son, it's breaking the rule, it's breaking that trend, because here we are, it's the Shloshim, it's a month later, and wherever you go, there are people who are sending letters to you, people who have called our office, people who asked us if they can be here today, because Justin, he touched people. And here we are a month later, and people are talking about it like it happened yesterday. So we hope that all of the incredible memories and the stories, and I'm sure you're going to hear many more, will continue to serve as a source of comfort for you and your wife and your family. And those memories will live on for a very, very long time to come, God willing.
Right.
I had a very special schus, my wife and myself, to spend close to 2 hours with Howie and Susan in Richard and his brother's home in Merrick, and we walked away very inspired. Sometimes, Kleisel, the Jewish people, we make the mistake, we hear about someone who only started to learn 6-7 short months ago, started to get interested in Shabbos and mitzvahs, but the life of Justin was so much more than the last 6-7 months. I think when we put everything together, and we want to glean perhaps the most consequential message of them all, when we take his 20 years and package it all tightly, and what Justin was an exemplary individual who put all of his kochas and nefesh into every single thing that he did. His myriad talents, his numerous aptitudes, his energy, his kochas and nefesh, all of his strengths, talents, and abilities, whether it was part of the football team, whether it was the chess team, and whether it was the Naval Academy, 30-year midshipman, whatever he put his heart and soul to. And then when he ended up learning the Tzvi, he made time for it, and he put in his kochos, his talents, his energies, and he always took it to the max. We have Gemara, there's a passage in the Babylonian Talmud, in Tractate Sanhedrin in 99b, that says, Adam the Yula, based on a verse in Job, a person was created for a melus, to toil diligently and incessantly, and the Gemara, the Talmud, doesn't state from the very outset what exactly that means. So you should work hard, diligently and arduously, for what? Only at the very end, the Gemara's final conclusion is that it's for Amal HaTorah, the primary usage and utilization of one's kochas nefesh, one's innate abilities, is to be used for Torah, for Judaism, for Yiddishkeit, for spreading God's message to the world, which is something that you and Susan and, of course, Justin did. But when all is said and done, the verse did not state explicitly that man was created for Amal b'Torah, for Amelus b'Torah, for toiling diligently in the Torah study. And what the prophet relates is one simple, succinct message. And that is that whatever you're doing in life, one has to know, Adam la'amal yulad. And the Gemara's conclusion will be, put most of those talents and abilities into learning, into Judaism, into mitzvot, into Maaseh Tovim, into doing it for others, and all that time that Justin, of course, allocated into helping and advising so many other countless individuals. But when we put it all together, I think what Justin was so paradigmatic of, what he so personified, was that whatever he put his heart to, he put all his heart into it. He put his heart and soul. He wasn't just going to be in the Navy. He wasn't just going to be in the Naval Academy. He was going to be a Navy SEAL. Now, I don't know how many people here really have read up on Navy SEALs. If you want to talk about the elite of the elite, the Iddish of Iddish, you want to talk about the Miyuchadim, the most unique individuals, Justin's peers all testified if there was one candidate who definitely would have succeeded in that elite corps in the Navy SEALs, it absolutely would have been a Justin. Because Justin was the quintessential Adam la'oma yulad. Whatever he put his heart to, he put all of his kochas into. And that's how we should go ahead and lead our lives, following that example that Justin was such a beautiful role model of. That whatever we do in life, every single thing we do, for ourselves, for the Jewish people, for the friends and acquaintances we come into contact with, it's got to be put your heart and soul into it and give it all you've got and take your innate abilities, take it always to the max. And that's what Justin was. Justin was the paradigm of Adam la'oma yulad. Whatever he did it in a fashion, in a tzura, in a form of amelus yagia, which is toiling diligently, arduously. And that's a special thing that I think we can all go in and learn from. That whatever we do in life, always picture and envision that image of a Justin Zemser and know that if he gave it all he got, look what he accomplished in 20 short years. Look how we have to learn from him and grow and put everything into everything that we do, into all our pursuits, so we could give a tremendous aliyah, continuous ascent into that very special, pure, pristine soul that your incredible Justin Yaakov Ephraim is all about.
Thank you.
We should get together for many, many smachot, for happy and joyous occasions with you and Susan. And he should do big things in proximity to the divine above. We know he will. We got to do for him, and you guys certainly will. And God willing, henceforth, we should only share the best of him.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Thank you for coming. Eat something, everybody say. The place. At that time, we always got together, all of us, and we decided that we're going to finish one of the major tractates of the Mishnah. The letters Mishnah and the Jewish alphabet are Mem, Shin, Nun, Hey, which interchange with letters Neshama. We believe very strongly that we all have a soul. The soul goes on. The soul never goes away, and the departed soul, I'm not a rabbi, if I can say a lot better than me, continues to live for many, many years to come, and all the mitzvos and the good things that we do here in this world are a blessing. So I'm going to say just a few short words to thank all the people for doing it. When we finish the siyum, right afterwards, Rabbi Potesh is Chagiga. He'll say the last Mishnah, and then Rabbi Ber, maybe you'll say maybe the Hadron, all right? And I'm just going to introduce the people who got together. We learned many hundreds of Mishnahs over here in Mishnayos. This way was divided up. Shabbos, for first 1 to 6 chapters. Joel Kaplan, thank you, Joel. Shabbos chapters 7 to 12, Baruch Rothman. I'll say thank you to everybody. It was Shabbos 13, 18, yours truly. Shabbos 19, 24, Moshe Bender. Erevin 1 to 5, Avi Taub. Erevin, he fell in that day to Amin. Erevin 6 to 10, Yitzchak Goldstone. Psachim in time is after Rabbi Shachner here to my left. Shkolim in time is after Moshe Adams, is here somewhere. I think it was right, Moshe Adams. He took it very nicely from us. Moses Cotton, Rabbi Zevi Bald. Sukkot in time is after Rabbi Yeri Habeda. Kindness, Shlomo Krasnow was here to my left somewhere. Right there, Megillah, Rabbi Menachem Bornstein, somewhere also probably here he is. Dr. Beya, Rabbi Pinchas Meyer, Rosh Hashanah, Shmuley Koenig. I didn't see him yet today. Oh, is it? Yeah, oh, right there, okay. And Yuma 1 to 4, Shmuel Trank, Yuma 5 to 8, Yuri Gordon, Chagiga Hana Potesh. So I'm going to say, just we'll start the Mishnah Hara Potesh. I'll have him nice over here. We're going to be completing it in memory of Ephraim, Yaakov, and Chaim Shmuel. The name changed 4 times along the way, by the way.
You got it right.
We got it right. Ephraim, Chaim, and Shmuel. Ephraim, Yaakov, Ben Chaim Shmuel. Ephraim, Yaakov, and your Chaim Shmuel, right?
Yeah.
It took a while to get. It took like 3 weeks of discussion.
Yeah, we were saying it the other way around, but yes.
All right, I'm happy. The list.
I hope so.
Okay, the wrong. Now if you brought it down, it's the right place.
We had it around.
Yaakov, Ephraim. Gentlemen, it's changed again. It's Yaakov, Ephraim.
Sorry.
Yaakov, Ephraim, Ben Chaim Shmuel. I just want to say, I want to thank Rabbi Chaim Gershon Schindler. The entire, we got involved here somehow. My son Baruch Ber, but it came out through when the entire story happened. You contacted Rabbi Schindler, very cool. Correct, Rabbi Chaim Gershon Schindler, who contacted Joel Kaplan. I believe in Joel, who contacted Baruch Ber. So we all became your big mishpacha right now.
שהם ניתנו ראשונים ושניים תחתיהם. כל הכן שואל במיתוש תון תפילה, חוץ מזבח הזור, מזבח המחש בפני שהם כקרקע, דבר בליעזר. כלומר מפני שהם מצופים.
Thank you very much. I'll give it very fine to you, brother.
Absolutely, an honor.
How do I say the maid? No, fine, come on. How do I say the maid?
That's it. Thank you.
Hadjan lach seder moed, hadjan chlon, dayton lach seder moed, dayton chlon, nasashim lach seder moed, nasashim yenon labama, hadin labama daasi. Hadjan lach seder moed, hadjan chlon, dayton lach seder moed, dayton chlon, nasashim lach seder moed, nasashim yenon labama, hadin labama daasi. Hadjan lach seder moed, hadjan chlon, dayton lach seder moed, dayton chlon, nasashim yenon seder moed, nasashim yenon labama, hadin labama daasi. Harevno Adonai Eloheinu, Esrei Suask Befilm Fios Am Chavei Yisrael, Nir Kolona Anachim Tzezenu Tzezenu Am Chavei Yisrael. Klani Yodli Shmach V'Lomdu Yisosech Lishma Ve'oi Ve'Sech Hakmim V'Sech Yilal Amili. Yili B'Samim B'Chokecha Laman Lo Yivosh Diol L'Oshkaf B'Kodecha Ki Yivam Chisani Baruch Atah Adonai Lamadeni Chokecha Amen 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 Salavoed. Modem Anachnu L'Fanecha Adonai Eloheinu. Elohei Abasinu Shesam T'Chalkeni Yosef Yismash L'Osam T'Chalkeni V'Shekonos Shanu Mashkim Yehem Mashkim Anu Mashkim T'Beitem Mashkim T'Dvar Matayim Anu Amelim Mehem Amelim Anu Amelim Makam Masach Mehem Amelim Mehem Makam Masach Anu Ratzim Mehem Ratzim Anu Ratzim L'Chayolam Haba Mehem Ratzim L'Vashach Shnemar Ata Elohim T'Oidim L'Vashach Son Sheidam Remember Lo Yotzu Yemei Ani V'Tach Bach Yimatzom L'Fanecha Adonai Elohai Kishem Shazatanu Lesayim Seidamoi Kach Tazrin Laskos Stormus for Machem Lesaimah Level Lami Lishwan Lasis Lakaim Es Kol Divrei Tamot Tosecha Biavo Schus Kol Tanos Adami Lacham Nuskam Seder Moi Tamot Lonu Zareno Shalatama Shatorim Pinu Mipi Zareno Bezer Zareno Adallah Yikuy Bon Mesalachatan Chaosa B'Shachot Ish Malach Vakitsos Hit Sichacha Kivir Bu Yamach Masib Lachashan Schayim Orach Yom Minu Besmol Osha B'Chavod Adonai Oz Lamo Yitain Adonai Yivarech Esanu V'Shalom.
You're saying the regular Kaddish.
All right, I can handle this. Yiskadal v'yiskadash Shemei Rabor.
Amen.
For all more, for D for Roa, Chiru say, for Yamlik Malchu say, for Chayechon, U Yomechon, U Chaye. To call Beis Yisrael V'agor Lo Uvizman Koriv V'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabor Mivorak Liolom Ul Mei Ul Mayor Yisbarach V'yishtabach V'yispoar V'yisromam, v'yisnasei, v'yishador, v'yishaleh, v'yishalol, shemei dekudashor barichu. Le'elor min kol, birchor sor, v'shiror sor, tushbachor sor, v'nepe mor sor, da'a miron. Baal Mor, V'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shalomor Rabor Min Shemayor Yechai V'chayim Oleinu Va'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimro Mov Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Oleinu Va'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen.
Amen. Remain standing, please. Rabbi Schindler Jr. You have two Rabbi Schindlers here. Rabbi Schindler Jr. the Kamali, okay? Sit there. Sit there.
Mole rachamim eshochein bamromim hametzei minucha nechain al kanfei hashchina lemahalois kedoshim utoirim kezoya harakia mazirim es nishmas Yaakov Ephraim ben Chaim Shmuel sheholachol yolamo ba'avor
B'nei HaYeshiva.
B'nei HaYeshiva Mishpachtay Yitnu L'tzedakah B'yad Haskaras Nishmosai B'gan Eden Tei Menuchasa L'chein B'al Rachamim Yastira B'seiser K'nafav Li'olamim B'yitzaror B'yitzaror HaChayim Es Nishmosai Adonai Hu Nachalosai V'sanuach B'shalayim Al Mishkavo B'naymar Amen.
Please make a bracha. Mazel tov and Nasim, Rabbi.
Shamas al-Haman Aliyah.